Hey guys, my name's Chris. I live in Australia and I'm just on a walk and talk today. I just want to, pose a question to you guys. Maybe we can work through it together. What if you were doing everything right, but it doesn't work anymore? What if you're doing your best, but it's just not good enough? So, cost of living through the roof in Australia right now. It is astronomical. People are struggling to pay bills. People are struggling to pay rent. People are struggling to get ahead. They're struggling for their deposits if they want to move into home ownership. It is becoming incredibly difficult. And, I read the comments, guys, and, valid points, like stop eating smashed avocados. You should have saved up more, live within your means. But what if you're not eating smashed avocados? What if, you're living well within your means? What if you are saving, but the system is now so skewed against you that regardless of what you do, if you're doing all the right things, if you're budgeting well within your means, not eating out, not going out buying jet skis or anything like that, you're living well within your means and it's still not moving you ahead. In fact, you're going backwards from inflation. You're going backwards from the cost of living. What then? The point I want to raise and discuss in this video is you could be doing all the right things, but if the government has put certain processes, certain regulations in place, printed money like there is no tomorrow, and devalued the currency, if you're doing all the right things, but there are government decisions being made to move you backwards, to wipe out any gains, any progress you're making through life, what can you do? You can do all the best things possible for yourself. You can make all the smart decisions, all the right decisions, but that overarching macro, that macro factor can wipe out all gains, wipe out all progress, wipe out everything and make it redundant to even try. So what's the point of trying? And I think a lot of the younger generation right now, I'm a millennial and the generations below me, they are going to have it even harder. I've had like a 10-year running start. They're starting out at 18, in their 20s and stuff like that. And they're even further behind. And right now, I'm struggling. I'm struggling, man. I'm trying to get to home ownership and it's just getting further and further away each year that goes through. The cost of my electricity is going up. The cost of my insurance is going up. The cost of my groceries, the cost of my rent is all going up. So that's making it harder to save, harder to get towards that deposit. Meanwhile, the housing prices are going up. So that deposit benchmark, that little hurdle you got to get over is getting higher and higher and higher each year. Maybe I've got to save an extra $100 per week this year to match it all on the increases for the deposit. And then the year after, a further $100. So over 2 years, an extra $200 per week saved on top of the regular because the benchmark is going up higher and higher and higher. So guys, help me here. It's like, how can you do all the right things when there is a system right now that is rewarding the asset class, rewarding the wealthy, making that divide, eroding the middle class completely. Middle class and lower class, guys, we're fucked. We're fucked right now. Okay, we're being eroded away into close to poverty. There'll be those with, those without. That's where we're heading. So the question, guys, help me in the comments here. Help me see what we can do. If you're doing all the right things within your means, you're budgeting, you're saving, you're working a job, you've got a good career, you've got a good job. I've seen people commenting saying they're earning, over $100,000 a year, both them and their partner, and they are struggling to move ahead. What can you do if you've done all the right things, but there is legislation, laws, politicians, government, essentially, making it impossible to move into home ownership, to live a comfortable life, to have a quality of life worth living in Australia, like many of the generations before us had. They had great qualities of life. There's no arguing that. But now that's decaying and it's been taken away from modern Australians. So the younger generations, we're losing that quality of life. We're losing any guarantees that we're going to have a good life because of what the government is doing to us. I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong here. But a government, shouldn't their interest be to the Australian citizen to improve the quality or at least maintain the quality of life for all Australian citizens? not have better outcomes for corporations, not to have better outcomes for foreign investors, not to have better outcomes for people who aren't citizens in this country, who can't even vote in the first place. Their focus should be to maintain or improve the quality of life for all Australian citizens. Not for these citizens who will vote for your party. You can't pork barrel for votes. Just be like, these people will get a better quality of life where these don't. The government's job, our leaders in this country's job, is to improve the quality of life for all Australian citizens, all Australians. And I don't think that's happening. I think they are favouring corporations. I think they're favouring certain areas. I think they're favouring certain asset classes of people. I think they're favouring the investor class more than anything. So are you struggling right now? Are you doing all the right things? You're trying to get ahead, you're living in your means, you're budgeting, you're saving, but everything's just getting further and further away as each year goes on. You're doing the right things, but it's not working. You're doing your best, but it's just not good enough. Let me know your stories down below in the comments. All right, guys, see you in the next one.